welcome. My name is Jacob Willoughby, and now we're going to have a presentation from Galleon Gold. And with us for that is David Russell, who is President, CEO, and Chairman of the Board of Galleon Gold. Thank you, and David, please take it away.
Well, thank you, Jacob. I'd like to thank you and all the bankers here at Red Cloud for helping with this presentation and getting things started. And I think we've got a pretty exciting project here to show everyone, and we'll get that underway as soon as I fire it up here. Can you see that, Jacob?
I don't see it yet. Did you hit your share screen?
Hang on a minute. Share screen.
Okay, I can see your screen now. So just, yeah, you got your PDF, full screen. Excellent.
All right, we finally got it.
Okay, I'm going to mute.
You can never underestimate technology. It's Galleon Gold. My name is David Russell. I'm the CEO and president of the company. We're a newly developed gold company, and we're on the TSX Venture as GGO.V. And we're an up-and-coming junior explorationist hoping to be a producer, say, in the next few years. Now, let's go to page 3 here. First of all, we've got several projects, but our key project is the West Cache project, which is 13 kilometers west of Timmins, Ontario, right off the highway. We started with an indicated resource of roughly 1,079,000 ounces. We knew early on we need to infill this, bring the grades up, both of the open pit and the underground. That will bring it up hopefully to 3 grams, 3.5 grams in a pit, and the underground configuration more than 5 gram material. So far, we've got roughly 14,500 meters drilled of the first 15,000 meter program of infilling, and it's working well with what we call the East Pit, the West Pit. And we had a surprise. We found a projected structure on a sediment-hosted unit in our south wall known as vein number 9. This is the game changer here. This really will make a company. It's very wide. It's roughly about 10 to 11 meters wide. Grades are running 7 to 9 gram material. Now, we were kicking off this week baseline studies environmentally. We're starting the survey to go to mineral lease, and we're designing the first underground ramp for the bulk sample. And for the preliminary economic PEA assessment will be done by the end of March or early April, and we'll get that into the market. Now, where are we on the stock end of it? We've been at 12, 13 cents. Where were we a year and a half ago? We were at about a half a penny, and we've moved up from about a 500,000 market cap to about 58 million market cap. Shares outstanding total about 637. We're fully financed. We've got 9.3 million. In the bank account right now to cover our project. Now, who owns the company? Well, retail institution, about 60%. Management, roughly a little over 5%. Eric Sprott owns 23%. He was one of the first investors to come in with us and believe in this project and say, you know, you guys know how to find it, you know how to develop it, you've done it before. Moving on to our directors, we've got a strong board. There's myself, there's Chris DuPont, the former CEO of Explore Mining Company, which we merged with about January of 2020. Mario Calantonio, professional engineer. Michael Hobart there in Toronto with Folger Rubinoff, a securities and mining lawyer. We have Thomas Kaufman, former M Partners, great audit committee chair, really knows his financial business. Gerhard Merkel out of Germany, a very smart investment type of person. James T. O'Neill, he's the vice president, or CFO, I should say, with Eric Sprott at Jarrett Canyon. He's worked with me at several different companies, a great director. Now, where are we? Just go down to the slide here on number 6, going from Toronto. It's about a 2-hour air flight to Toronto. Within 40 minutes of that airport, you can be at our mine site along Highway 101. Okay, along the highway corridor here, you'll find the mines. Let's start on the right side, Black Fox. This is the mine I developed between 2002 and 2008. It went in production as a 70 to 80,000 ounce producer. We used the stock mill, which is right in this area here, as the lead-in for milling ores early on, and then we redeveloped roughly from 800 metric tons a day to 2,200 metric tons. That mine now is owned by McEwen Mining, but it's still been in production since 2008. Then you go into Aquarius and the Hoyle and Pamour mines. Hollinger and McIntyre and Dome, these are key mines within the camp themselves. Hollinger McIntyre, 11 million ounces, McIntyre 20 million ounces, Dome very similar. The whole camp, I think we're looking at well over 80 million ounces within this area here. And then on the yellow area, you come to West Cache. We have a land package of 3,500 hectares. We've got about 4 kilometers of strike, and we abut Timmins or Pan American Silver, which is the lakeshore property right next door. Now, looking at this, we'll take a look at, you can see the core shed in the lower picture. You can see our drill rig right next to it. But the key here is Timmins is the mining camp. We're supported by a miner-friendly environment. We have access to workforce. The Highway 101 comes right through the property. You see Timmins coming down here through the highway. This won't bother us with the pits down below. We're quite a way removed from them. This is where we're infill drilling. We had another acquisition of 8 different patented mining claims from the Dwyer family here that held these claims over 100 years. Some drilling on them. We'll be taking those on probably in 2021 as we expand the resource base to the northeast. Now, Pan American Silver. Can't say enough down in here. They've been there for a long time with the Lakeshore Group, being the original owner. Then it went to Tahoe Resources and then on to Pan American Silver. And Newmont's still mining, I should say, up in the Timmins camp up here. They took over quite a few years ago, and they're still running the open pit in that end of it. Now, we do have a signed MOU with the First Nations, which is our partner really on this property. Now, the West Cache Gold Project, geological mineralization, we're looking at it saying, okay, what is it? Well, we're on the District Porcupine. We have the south limb. That's our primary drilling right in this area here. We've got the north limb here. There are drill holes to indicate there's gold on that one. We'll take that on in the next couple of years. We need to focus on, where the key structures are here. The mineralization here resembles the Hollinger and McIntyre mines that are about 15 kilometers to the northeast. And it's characterized by chalcopyrite stringers, veins, gold, free gold, with electrum on the pyrite. But we have all the earmarks of the same mining that was done in past history. We're looking at an area roughly about 750 meters wide by roughly about 1,500 meters long right now. We'll expand it out to the 2,000 meter in our second program as we step out. And right now we have a little over, I believe, 415 core holes with about 175,000 meters of drilling to work with. So I think we're well on our way to defining this ore body. Now, when we look at slide 10, these are the fabrics. There's 8 different shear zones, but one of the keys is the pits are up in this area here, but you see how large these structural features are and where the drill holes have intercepted. The West Deep will show you some intercepts on that. It's very, very impressive in this area here. Now, the other area we can look at is on the left. And with the left area here, this kind of shows exactly where we're drilling within the property package. The purple is our infill drilling area right here. So let's blow it up. Let's look at the west area. Let's look at the east area here and in between. Now, originally, they designed a pit, we'll say quite a few years ago, to cover the whole east and west. And what we found is that there wasn't much drilling, so we split the pits up and said, okay, where do we need to drill internally to bring the resource base up to a reserve? Well, we started drilling internally, both the east and the west areas, and then we added holes in between. And lo and behold, these structures will come together. We are having good success there. So what we can say is we're just about done in filling the east and the west pit areas. We've discovered in the south wall of the west area right here, the new mineralization, and that's known as zone number 9. Now, this is what we released a few weeks back. And what I want you to do is pay attention to the east side here. You can see good widths, 4.9, 4.9, 26. This on the feet on meters. If you want to talk in meters, 1.5, 1.58, and you see 3 grams, 2 grams, 1 gram. And you keep going on down. We have some spikes at 8 grams. We got 14 grams. Basically, this is open pit area. These are great open pit grades, and they're fairly near the surface here. So that's infilling very well. The interesting part is in the west pit area here, you see 3 meters at 10 grams, 1.5 at 18, and on down you see 9 grams, 31 grams, and you go, wow, what happened here? Well, obviously the west area of the pit is going to be much higher grade. Now, lumped in between here, I will point out 20-30, 20-42. These are the discovery holes and the offset hole for the sediment-hosted number 9 main structure. 9.7 meters of 7 grams or 3 meters of 14 on the hanging wall side. The same thing on 42 to verify it. This is 50 meters to the west and 30 meters below it. We said we need a second hole to verify this structure. Sure enough, there it is, 10.7 meters at 7 grams, 2.9 meters at 10 grams. Okay, we're off and running with a new structure here. Now, where are they? Let's take a look at this area. Number 42, 30 right here. And you can see the widths and the grades associated with it. We're projecting we've got to, in the next phase, drill through this area. Now, in the west pit area, you can see all the drill holes in this area here. We're up to hole, I believe, number 66 now. But you can see that we've actually infilled between all the drilling. And we've news released the gold numbers here. We've still got results pending on a lot of assays. So look forward to that in the next week to 2 weeks, some assays coming out from the lab. This area is what I call the bubble. Okay, the bubble here. The point is we've got a lot of hits, both deep underground, close to the surface, and then you see the pit outline here, a lot of pretty high grade areas, high grade being, 5, 10, 30 gram material here. Same thing here. Instead of looking at a longitudinal section, we're looking at a west to east section here. This shows the open pit area. This shows the actual structural area from the west deep area and where we intersected the sediment hosted unit here. Well, and behold, they had hit it many years ago, 10 years ago down here, but hadn't fully understood what they hit. One of our geologists projected it up and said, drill here. And sure enough, there it was. Now let's look at the structure itself. This is an oblique angle of it. And you see we've got 500 meters to infill drill here. You can see the core, the pyrite, the gold electrum here. Pretty spectacular core. Now, what I mentioned before, I was going to show you some of the hits from the west deep area here. This is 2010, 11, 12. You look at the meters here. Oh my gosh, 11 meters, 5 meters, 4 meters, 11 meters. Big time hits, and you get anywhere from 5 grams, and then you go to 23 grams. You got 114 grams. I think we got the earmarks of a high grade underground in this west deep area. This is just some sections here we'll take a look at. On the east area, the 925 section, 375, 325, and 125. Just to orientate you with the next slides, you can see the structural trend very close to the surface. This is the glacial interface here, and then the hard rock unit, and these structures come almost right to the contact zone there. This would be the 925, the 375 being right in this area here. And you can see we've got some very, very good hits right close to the surface here. Now let's look at the west area here, the 325 and the 125. Notice how close this is. I mean, we're talking only 10, 15 meters below the surface on the interface with the glacial alluvium and the hard rock here. And then you look at our other hits over into this area here, part of the bottom of the open pit. We're still waiting on a lot of assays up in this area to infill the pit area. Now, let's take a quick look at what are we doing here. Okay, with this, we're completing the infill drilling and the known mineralization, the open pit, and the underground. We started with 1,079,000 ounces. We remodeled it and said, okay, we need at least 15,000 meters of drilling, maybe 20,000 meters. We found number 9. Okay, main number 9, we're going to actually have to go to a second phase drilling. We raised the money. We're fully funded on that. We'll start that program in about 2 weeks. And so expect, say, within the next 4 to 6 weeks, quite a bit of data coming out on number 9. Now, we have to test other areas closer to the surface, and that would be main 9 coming closer to the surface, and then on strike, going back to the west area, we're going to have to look at that. Now, what do you do with this data? Well, we geologically assay it, we model it, we give our interpretation to it, and then we take it and we basically have a data transfer to the P&E consultants. This is Eugene Peerich's group out of Toronto there. They've been modeling this ore body for about 12 years now. So they're very astute in the structural controls, the geology, everything that makes an ore body. So they've got some of the data transfer, but the big data transfer will come for the east and west pits in December, and then between January and February on main number 9. That all will lead into the PEA that will be completed by P&E consultants. Now that should set the stage for the economic analysis of what this project really will be. Now the baseline studies for environmental, those are kicked off this week. That will set the stage for the closure plan that we'll need in the underground bulk sampling, and that'll lead us into the pre-feasibility and then on to the feasibility study next year on this project. Now, where do we sit? Okay, when we're looking at it, we say, okay, we started almost from nothing. We're in the middle of the pack here when you're looking at this. Hopefully this time next year, we're looking more like a Pure Gold or a Wallbridge. You know, we're setting our bar high, but we believe we've got one of the best geological plays in the Timmins camp, and we've got the next potential mine to come online, both open pit and underground here. Now, why would you invest into Galleon Gold? Well, number one, we got financial backing from Eric Sprott right off the get-go. And what he said is, you know, to us is, hey guys, you drill what I see in that deep west area, I'm going to stay with you. And so far through the financings we've done, Eric stayed with us. He's kept his position. We've got the first program almost completed. We'll start the second program the next week here to actually define vein number 9. We started with 1 million ounces. We'll now redefine that 1 million ounces plus and be adding to the picture. You know, is this 1 million ounces, 2 million ounces, 3 million ounces? Stay tuned. With the drilling, we'll flush it out and we'll put the numbers on the books and we'll bring the value to the market. But we do have a high-grade load vein structure, and we've got proven experienced management team. That's key. You can have the best project if you don't have a good team. We've got a good team. So with that, I'll open up for questions, Jacob. This is our story today, which is a developing one as far as exploration, drilling, and finding high-grade gold structures.
That was excellent, David. Thank you. You sure get a lot of words in quickly. I think the main question people would have for you would be when would the next set of results be coming, and then perhaps how often do you expect to be coming to the market with results?
Yeah, Jacob, we're always at the beckoning call of the lab. The lab's been behind recently because there's a lot of projects up in the Timmins camp, but we expect within the next week to put out another data release. So give us about a week here and we'll have that release out, and then follow it up about every week and a half. We'll start feeding new data into the market. And what you'll look for first is in the next 2 releases, we'll start to catch up with the east and the west pit in the beginning of the West Deep underground area. We'll get that data to the market. So we should have that all out within 3 weeks. Then the 4th, 5th week down the line, start looking for data off of vein number 9. Now, again, that's the sediment hosted unit that's in the south wall. It's independent of the first 1,079,000 ounces. So once we turn out the data, you'll see how prolific that structure is.
Okay, great. We've got a bit of time left here. There's a question on metallurgical work. If there's been any done on the property, any idea of what recoveries would look like here?
That's definitely a first question on anybody's mind. Can you recover the gold? The answer is yes. The gold is free gold or electrum on pyrite. There's been a lot of crushing and grinding studies, but there's also been flotation studies followed by cyanide leach. There's bulk cyanide leach on the ores, at 100 mesh, 150 mesh, 200 mesh. And the recoveries have been 94 to 97%. And so that's a great study. They did that a while back on the ore body. We have just initiated studies on the vein number 9. There's been no studies on that yet. And we're doing bottle rolls, full cyanization of the ores on that. So look for that in the press releases in the next 2 to 3 weeks, also some of the results that have come out of that. But we expect that to be very similar to the main ore zone.
Excellent. That's quite common of mineralization in Timmins, which is great to see. We've just got about a half a minute left, so we'll begin to wrap up. I apologize for people who had more questions, but there's a lot to cover there. I think the highlight for me is just that PEA should be coming March, April time, which will be a big catalyst. And then I'm thrilled to hear that all these drill results are going to come out, because I have all these associates that are twiddling their thumbs. I need to get them writing more research. So with that, I'll just thank you, David, and participants, and sign off as the next talk's got about 5 seconds to begin. Thanks a
Thank you,
lot.
Jacob, and thank you, Red Cloud, and all the participants and investors.